Peace. Wise King for Wise Words Media, and the 2018 NBA Draft is officially over, and the New York Knicks with the ninth pick select Kevin Knox, small forward out of Kentucky. That was not the bad pick. The bad pick and where the Knicks went wrong was in the 2017 NBA Draft. A draft that was guard heavy, with names on the board such as Dennis Smith Jr., the very exciting point guard that plays for the Mavericks now, who was selected right after the Knicks made their selection, and also a point guard who at number 13 was slept on. Many teams didn't pick him, but he was on the New York Knicks radar. The Knicks were on record talking about this kid as one of the guys that they're looking at, which was Donovan Mitchell, potential Rookie of the Year. So, with a guard-heavy draft like that, and with explosive players on the board still like that, franchise-changing guys, the New York Knicks decide to go with Frank Ntilikina, whatever the guy's name is. Some guy from France. Okay, at best, the guy's going to be a backup point guard in the NBA. And he's going to be a half-court player, a guy who could defend. But that's at best case scenario. The Knicks, had they selected a franchise changer, someone in the likes of a Donovan Mitchell or a Steve, what's the name? See, that's how true it is. The guy's game mirrors Steve Francis so much, I was about to call him Steve Francis, but Dennis Smith Jr., had the Knicks selected someone like that last year, this year's pick with Kevin Knox would have been a great complementary pick to complement the 1-2 combo of Mitchell and Porzingis, or Smith-Porzingis. That 1-2 alone right there could give a franchise a facelift. You add a guy like Kevin Knox, who's a big guy, young, can knock down an outside jump shot, and is offensive minded, can score, a good wing player. You add that to a established 1-2 that's formidable in Smith and Porzingis, or to Mitchell, Porzingis. Now when you have Mitchell, Porzingis, Knox, now you're forming something. You have Smith, Porzingis, Knox. You're forming something. But by the Knicks picking a guy who is a season away from the G League if he doesn't get it together, that sets the franchise back at least 3-4 years. And I don't care what nobody says. The reason why the New York Knicks, namely Phil Jackson, selected Frank Ntilikina was because he knew he was going to get fired. I don't care what nobody says. I'm the only one that's going on record saying this, and I'm going to live and die by this. Phil Jackson knew he was going to get fired, because 1 week later he got fired after the draft. So he knew there was a potential for him to get fired. There was probably things going on behind the scenes that we weren't privy to. So what ends up happening is he's like, oh yeah? Y'all going to fire me? Oh, I hear the rumors. Y'all going to fire me? So get this. With the 8th pick, the New York Knicks select Frank Ntilikina. They did that. He did that in order to push the franchise back, since he knew he was halfway out the door already. And he succeeded in just that. With that being done, the New York Knicks now have been pushed back to a draft where they could have selected a franchise-changing point guard. Now they're still in search of a franchise-changing point guard. And that's what makes last night's pick a little lackluster, because there's still a void, an important void in today's game, which is the point guard position. You could have filled it up last year, but because that void still remains, it takes away from the pick of a good player, a potentially good player. It makes it seem like we didn't do much because that guy is not filling an immediate need, which is, in today's game, the point guard position. You must have a point guard in today's game to win. And Ntilikina at best is going to be a solid backup half-court defender at best. So we have one piece in Porzingis, the big man. The other two pieces are missing. You know, potentially we have one of them in Kevin Knox, but that remains to be seen. But we could have had 2/3 of the equation. You need point guard, wingman, big man. We have the big. Could have had the point guard last year. We drafted Knox now. So maybe the question mark looms. You know, maybe we did select a guy that can help change, give us a facelift at the wing position, but the fact that the Knicks dropped the ball last year, namely Phil Jackson, to screw the Knicks over, that's the reason why we didn't get Smith Jr., Mitchell, and we're still in search of a point guard. And because that immediate need wasn't addressed last night, it takes away from us celebrating a Kevin Knox. But I wish Kevin Knox all the best. You know, he's a Knick. Welcome home. And we just got to hope for the best for him. And we got to wait for Kyrie Irving to come off them books and try to lure him over here on this side. But, yeah, and a side note real quick before I go, Michael Porter Jr. looks like he's the truth. He looks like he's a stud, but the Knicks are a team that have gambled a lot in the draft. And I get this new administration. This new administration, this is their first draft. Scott Perry and them were like, you know what? We got to go with something healthy. What's the best ability in sports? Availability. And compared to Kevin Knox, Michael Porter Jr. fails in that ability. So I get why the Knicks didn't pick him. But boy, oh boy, there's going to be 13 teams kicking themselves in the you know what if this kid becomes what he's supposed to be. But on that note, Wise King, it's been a minute, but I'm back. Peace.